Hello. Oh, I gotta let it count down. Hello and welcome to podcast episode numero tres on a Saddie Baddie podcast. I'm your host, Eileen Marcella, and I'm back with another video. So, for the people that are not audio listeners that like to see a visual, then head on over to my YouTube channel at Eileen Marcella because I'm also recording a visual here. So, yeah, you girlies will be able to listen to that, watch that, take it in while you're getting ready, while you're driving in the car, while you're sitting at work, um, doing your work, but also wanting to listen to something. Then here I am to, chill with you while you're doing that. So, yeah, I'm back with another video, and I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about just mental health, especially in this video, especially because that's something that I've been going through and that I've been through in a lot of roller coasters and a lot of ups and downs and things like that throughout the years. And I feel like now that I'm turning 26 and I'm going through another mental health journey, getting over a little crisis low key, then I kind of want to talk about the things that I've been doing to help me get out of that. So, yo girl has suffered with depression, or not suffered, but I've definitely struggled with depression, which of course name a Saddie Baddie, because no matter how much of a baddie I am, I still can be a very big Saddie. So yeah, I have definitely struggled with depression and anxiety and my own mental health struggles probably since I was about 16, is when I can remember it being like quite prominent, to the point where I had honestly like pretty dark thoughts. Like, I won't even lie, when I was around 16 years old. And it has been something that has been hard for me to talk about in the past and throughout my life, just because I feel like as much as we want to bring attention to it, and as much as definitely people are more open to mental health and they're more open to the idea of like, oh yeah, like this world is actually kind of hard to navigate at times and we all go through struggles. I think simultaneously a lot of people don't really want to talk about it though. Like, they want to be like, yeah, we might all feel like that, but like, don't say it, girl. Like, just keep it hush, you know what I mean? And I'm definitely someone that I've never shied away from talking about something if I feel like it'll bring awareness and help to someone else. And definitely me going through another recent like phase, like I would say literally within the last 3 months, that I was feeling like that. I kind of want to shine a light on it and talk a little bit about the stuff I've been doing to get out of it, especially because it's summer and I'm not getting any younger, girl. I'm not getting any younger. And as much as I hate vulnerability, it's just, I think, part of my life purpose at this point. And I think I've just accepted it, because a lot of times in the past, I've been very quick to say, no, I'm not going to talk about that, or I'm going to hide that, or I'll record a video talking about it and then I'll delete it, or I'll feel like ashamed talking about certain things, because I really do hate people knowing things about me. And that's another thing about me. But at the same time, I have noticed that the times in which I have opened up to people and been vulnerable, it has really helped them. And I'm on a mission to kind of step into my life purpose, step into feeling more comfortable being seen and vulnerable. So this is part of that. So yeah. Also, side note, girl, my hair's getting long. If you're on my YouTube video, like, you're gonna be able to see, like, I just dyed it blonde recently, and honestly, it looks great. And I think, honestly, though, this was part of me feeling depressed. I won't even lie, because when I first dyed my hair blonde, it was like low key dead. Like, I won't even lie, which, it's nothing against my hairdresser. Like, it's just literally like me having super curly hair, and it just didn't react well to the chemicals, the bleach, the whole shebang. Also, I'm gonna shut the window a little bit because it's a little bright and it's giving me like a bright look on my face, and I don't like it. But anyways, so how's that? Let's see. Okay. I don't really know. Okay. So anyways, so I'm going to talk a little bit about mental health. So I guess we could start with kind of knowing like how I was going through things, or kind of how I knew that I was not in an okay place. So when I was about 16, like, obviously that was a whole different time period, but I was just going through a lot of things mentally. Like, I think a lot of times throughout my life as well, like the relationships I've been in have had a huge effect on my mental health. And I think a big part that I kind of want to highlight from that is just knowing like when you're choosing a relationship out of like boredom, or out of like wanting somebody to make you happy. Because I think that has been something in the past that has definitely been one of my faults, is that a lot of times I would be very sad, or I just wouldn't really take the time to like dedicate a lot of energy and healing and like love and pour it into myself. So I would like find a partner, or not necessarily find a partner, because it's not like I was out here with a sign being like, please date me, I'm sad. But like, definitely, I think at that point, subconsciously, I was attracting people that were the same way, like people that were also sad, or people that were also going through a lot of things, or people that, you know, low key, I won't even like lie, were like low key narcissists, because they were people that could see that empathy, or maybe that like desire to be loved, or that like, I don't know, just kind of needy energy, for lack of better words, which obviously it's like very uncomfortable to refer to myself like that. But at the same time, like, I'm a self-aware queen. I've done the work. Like, I wrote a song called Serial Dater. Like, Yo Girl has definitely been on a process and on a journey of being more open and being more comfortable being like, this is the human experience. Like, take it for what it is. You know what I mean? If you want somebody who pretends everything's okay, like, go head over to another page, because that's not what my page is going to be, and whatever. So anyways, yeah, I guess just definitely like in the past. Also, the fact that I'm fanning myself with a photo of myself from a theater is like so Leo of me, like, but yeah, so anyways, so yeah, basically, like, I think a lot of times in the past, like, I would attract people that were low-key the same way of wanting that validation, but like in such a negative way, to the point where like I would start to feel better within the relationship, but then like they would kind of start like bringing me down. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, like bringing me down in a way, and it was just not a healthy relationship. So I think if you're somebody that's going through a hard time, or somebody that may be struggling with depression or anxiety or things like that, I think it's super important to look at the relationships around you as one of like the first types of things. And I don't mean it in a way of being like, oh, it's that person's fault that I feel like this, but definitely take into account like, okay, is this somebody that genuinely treats me well, or is this somebody that's like perhaps reflecting back to me like feelings that I feel about myself. So in a sense, for example, in the past as well, like, I've had a lot of friendships where those people would put me down, or make me feel like I needed to be quiet, or like hide parts of myself, or, you know, that I was too much, or that I was maybe not enough, or maybe that I needed to mold myself to be somebody different in order to be more accepted by others, and things like that. So I think if you're a young woman, if you're, you know, an individual who is going through things and possibly doesn't feel the best about yourself, it's very important to analyze the people around you and how those people might be contributing to some of those feelings. Not in a way of blaming them, but definitely thinking, oh, like, maybe I'm allowing myself to be treated a certain way because of the fact that I don't feel good about myself. You know what I mean? Because of the fact that maybe I just want somebody to be there. Like, I just want somebody to make me feel better, I guess, because you don't quite know how to break out of it. And of course, that's like, there's nothing wrong with that, but it definitely is important to bring awareness to that and to become self-aware of that, so you could start kind of adjusting. So for example, when I was about 16, or throughout different times of my life where I've had depression, like, a lot of times it was possibly like the way I was being treated by others, like, could be a part of it, you know? Like, when I was 16, I had a family member around me that they had fallen really harshly into drugs, and they were just not super kind to me as a result of that. And I think definitely for a long time, like, that contributed to my sadness, as well as being like in a toxic relationship in which I knew I didn't want to be with this person, but like, I also didn't want to be without this person. And so it was a lot of like tug and war of like, oh, like, you treat me so badly, and like, I know we're so bad for each other, but also like, you're all I really have. And it honestly makes me kind of sad. Like, I feel like my inner teenager is like, wow, like, ouch, that kind of hurts to say out loud. But yeah, so I think that's one part of it, and just kind of analyzing like, okay, are these people, like I said before, like, are these people that I have around me people that are generally good for my mental health, or other people that are contributing to my downfall, for lack of a better word. So, punto numero uno. Okay, dose. So, the second thing is that I would say definitely substances and the way in which you're treating yourself also contributes quite heavily to your mental health. So, looking back, definitely a lot of the times in which I was in really dark states of depression were times in which I was also a huge stoner. I won't even lie. I was a huge stoner, and I Yeah, and I wasn't admitting the fact that it was definitely very harmful to me and my mental health, because I wanted to believe that it was making me feel better, but I also had many times in which I had many panic attacks or things like that. So that also goes back to analyzing like how things feel to you, because honestly your body and your mind and your intuition and that connection, like soul, mind, body, energy, all of that, like it'll tell you. You just have to listen, babe. And one thing I had heard too is like Jim Carrey, one time he was doing an interview and he had said that depression is your body needing like deep rest. It's your body basically saying like, I don't want to play this character anymore, like your soul. So definitely think about and just kind of, become aware of the ways in which your body or your mind might be telling you like, I don't really want to do this anymore. Like, I don't really want to be the person that I am. And that doesn't necessarily mean like fall into a deep spiral. It just means like start adjusting. Like, okay, like maybe if I don't like the fact that, I smoke because of the fact that it makes me have panic attacks, it makes me very anxious, it makes me very sad, then start saying, all right, I'm going to wane off of it. Like, okay, I'm going to find, is wane a word? Wane, get off, adjust, lesson, I don't know, but basically not me coming up with synonyms, but basically adjusting of like, okay, then I'm gonna find something else. Like something that I tried for a while was when I was getting off of weed, is that I would do CBD instead, which then I stopped liking CBD, so then I just stopped doing stuff in general. Or I started taking ashwagandha, or I started going to therapy, or I started working out and eating healthy and finding like more naturalistic ways of doing it. And another thing too with this is like, it's not going to happen right away. Like, I mean, girl, I'm literally 20, almost 26, and I literally just had like a mental health crisis like 3 days ago, practically, of just like ongoing, my body just being like, I don't like this, I don't like this, I don't like this. And literally my mom came 2 days ago. She came, she helped me kind of like meal prep and get things ready, and now I feel so much better. Of course, it's only a few days in my journey, but at the same time, a few days is better than nothing. You know what I mean? Like, I was doing pretty bad, like I won't even lie, like my mental health was pretty bad, like I won't even lie. So yeah, that's another thing, is just starting to think, okay, like what ways and what habits can I change that would contribute to my happiness? Because believe it or not, as much as we hate to hear it, like not diet's a bad word for it, but eating whole foods, your fruits, your vegetables, your probiotics, your vitamins, like the whole shebang, babe. um Working out, like releasing all that anxiety and all that tension. Like, it's not just for the people that want to look hot and post themselves basically naked on the internet, even though it does inspire you. It's not just about that. It's also for people that generally want to take care of their mental health. And I will say, looking back at the past, like when I feel like I was at my best mentally was when I was consistent with that. So it won't happen in a day, it won't happen in two, might happen in three, maybe in a week, maybe in 2 weeks, maybe in a month, however, but like it's definitely not going to happen if you're not consistent with it. And that brings me to my third point, is the consistency. Like, consistency is really what makes the change. And this is coming from your girl right here, that I'm lazy, girl. Like, me being consistent, like I've had an electric guitar sitting in that corner that I've touched maybe 6 times, $500. Ask me if I've stayed consistent with guitar. Girl, I haven't. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm not a guitar player. I'm about to play tonight. But the point is, like, you're not going to get results if you're not consistent. And so that's the same thing with your mental health. Like, if you want to see results for your mental health and you want to generally see yourself improve, like, you have to be consistent. And that's with literally anything in life. And I know you hate to hear it. Like, girl, I would also rather be scrolling on my phone on TikTok or watching movies or literally doing nothing and still being successful. Like, if I was able to just lay my ass in bed all day and be successful and have a great body and have great skin and great hair and have an amazing relationship and just have everything I want in life, like, girl, I would. But that's not the way it works, unfortunately. And let me just tell you, like, God truly did create all of us equal in terms of the fact that we all have the capacity to reach our dreams and reach our goals. Of course, some of us are faced with different challenges, and that's part of life, because then you're going to be able to help other people that may be going through similar challenges. And that's honestly been what has inspired me to be more open about my journey, to be more open about, my mental health, my depression, like things that I've been through, because there is no way in hell I've had this complex of life if I'm not going to use it to help someone else. And as an older sister, like if there's at least one person watching this video that's thinking, you know what, that one thing she said helped me change my path, like, then that's what I'm doing it for. Like, I don't care. I don't care about the time or the uncomfortability that I perhaps feel with opening up, as long as I feel like I'm helping somebody through the process. So that's another thing, is consistency. And I will say, like, I'm definitely somebody that wants results fast. Like, if I practiced how to sing yesterday, today I better be fucking great at opera. Like, I'm not playing, you know what I mean? Like, I don't got time. But at the same time, it's like, you do though. You do though. And that's the thing. Like, definitely be patient with yourself throughout the process of healing your mental health, because it really isn't a day to another type of thing. But I will say, in just the 3 days that I've been drinking my green juices, taking my vitamins, eating whole foods, and working out, I have felt so much better. And it's literally only been like, I want to say like 3 or 4 days. Like, I won't even lie. And I know you might be like, girl, what the fuck? Like, how are you hopping on the internet giving advice when you've been doing it for 3 days? Girl, because it's a free fucking country. How about that? I'm just kidding. But also clock it. No, it's because of the fact that I've done this before. Girl, I'm 26. Like, girl, I have experience. So you see these tattoos? History, wisdom, dragon. So T, clock it. But anyways, like, I've been doing this throughout the years, and you would think because I've been doing this since I was like 16, 18, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, like, since I've been doing this for almost 26 years, you would think it's easy to just redirect and be like, oh, Eileen, not that way. Girl, no. Because when I feel something, I feel it to the deepest of my core. Like, that's why I can't just be falling in love with any like loser on the street, because girl, when I'm in, like, I'm all in or I'm all out. So that's one thing that I've been learning how to do, is like find the gray area of like, okay, maybe I'm not exactly where I want to be, but I'm also not where I used to be. So I'm just in the middle. I'm in a building phase. And I know the building phase is so fucking boring. Like, girl, I would also like to already be at the end. Like, I've said it before, I'll say it a million times. Like, if there was a story of how my life is going to go, bitch, I'd read that shit like immediately. They'd be like, Eileen, here's your life story. Yes. They'd be like, oh, but you don't know. Yeah, let me read it. You'd be like, oh, but you don't know, you don't want to know what, you don't want to like be surprised. Bitch, I hate surprises. Like, no. Unless you're surprising me with a brand new car, unless you're surprising me with like a $12 million, like, I don't give a fuck. Hand me that goddamn book. Like, what the fuck happens? Like, am I going to get everything I want? Hand it over. You know what I mean? Like, I don't fucking care about being surprised. I don't care about the fact that it could ruin the surprise. Like, no, bitch, hand that book over. Like, that's me. But unfortunately, nobody's going to do that. No matter how many times you read your birth chart, I've done it. No matter how many times you've deciphered your numerology, I've done it. No matter how many times you've pressed Zoltar to tell you your goddamn future, bitch, I have like 5 of them. It's not going to happen. So be consistent, write a list of all the stuff you want, and make some SMART goals. And if you need help, contact a therapist. Watch videos that make you happy. Watch kids' movies. I said it in the last podcast episode. I'll say it again. Watch kids' movies, the ones that connect you with your inner child again, the ones that remind you, like, hey, there's more to life than just what you see on the internet, of all this looks maxing bullshit, of all you see on the internet. Sorry for my language. I'm a cusser. So if you don't like cussing, go somewhere else. But anyways, so there's a fucking ant, dude. I literally got these ants exterminated. Like, let me tell you, girl, I moved into this new apartment. Luxury. Marketed as a luxury, right? I was like, clock it, luxury? Like, bitch, I'm luxurious. Like, hand it over, you know what I mean? Fucking ants all over my room. But then I read some spirituality about ants. They're just climbing on my wall. Like, they don't give a fuck that their brothers and sisters were exterminated. They're just gonna keep doing what they're doing. Bitch, don't play dead. I know your ass is moving. See, it's moving. Just whatever. You know what, Tommy? You can fucking live here then. They don't even fucking pay rent. And they're just comfortable, just climbing up my walls as if I didn't have a freaking breakdown because of the fact that my room is covered with ants. I literally moved into this apartment. I was so excited to have the master bedroom. Ants everywhere. Bitch, I was pissed. I had to sleep on an air mattress for like 4 days. Like, girl, that's probably what was contributing to my mental health crisis as well. Like, get yourself a good mattress. This one's from Ashley. Girl, hugs my body like, I don't even, like what? I don't have an example. Like a mattress. Anyways, I don't even know where I was going with that. I swear, I'm like the dog from Up. Like, I just get so distracted. I'm like, oh, squirrel, squirrel. But anyways, reel it back in, reel it back in. Anyways, point is, you got to be consistent and you have to give yourself time to have results. Like, at the end of the day, even though you may feel like you're running out of time, you're really not. Like, you're really not. Like, I know people are so obsessed right now with looks maxing and like you have to be the best version of yourself. And but at the end of the day, like, even if you're the hottest person alive, or you think you are, like this clavicular guy that's literally so average and like basic white boy, but like, who said that? But anyways, like, if you're not a good person, if you don't leave a positive impact on people, if you don't create anything that's worthwhile, anything that'll help the world, then it really doesn't matter how attractive you are. And let me just tell you something, like, everybody has flaws. Like, the most attractive person you know is also insecure. Um, the most attractive person you know has flaws. That's why they get nose jobs and do all these crazy things. So, and that's not to shit on anyone. Like, I really don't care. Like, do whatever makes you happy. But the point is to be a good person and leave a good impact on people. Like, I always find it crazy. I'm not a super religious person, but I do know that a lot of people or a lot of different religions or different places try to push the idea of like God is not God, but Jesus is like perfect. Anything else is like, you're a sinner, you're a horrible person, like you're going to hell for this, la la la. Like, yes, you sin, we all sin, whatever, in the context of perhaps we tell lies, perhaps we haven't always been the best person, perhaps there's people in the world that have cheated. I personally have never cheated, and I will never date anybody who has cheated moving forward. I've made that mistake. But anyways, that's another episode. The point is, like, they always try to make it seem like Jesus is on this huge pedestal, which I'm not trying to say he isn't, before people are like, how dare you talk about Jesus? Like, no, girl, what I'm trying to say is like, you can also be Christ-like. Like, you can also be Jesus-like, and it's the point of living by those values. Like, if you're a good person that generally wants to do good in the world, generally wants to spread kindness to people, generally wants to like lift people's spirits and not judge, like, that's another huge thing, is like not judging people. You know what I mean? I say as I just judged that looks maxing. I'm not judging him because of anything besides the fact that I've seen the way he treats his girlfriend online, and it's just absolutely horrendous. So my point to that is like, I know people are so obsessed with looks maxing. People are so obsessed with showing you the 50th course they've bought in, and how if you buy their course or you buy their coaching, then you also can make a ton of money and you can also do that. But let me tell you, as somebody who, I personally think that I have everything I want in this life. Like, I mean, I have amazing apartment that I just moved into. I have stable income. I have a great job. Like, the fact that I have a lot of these things I want, I will tell you that even in those circumstances, like, I have still had so many days and so many times in which I felt so empty and so sad, and have just felt like, what's the point of being on this earth if it's just like, it feels like a hamster wheel sometimes, of like, you're working 40 hours a week, like you're putting in so much money to like do this and that, and like to pay for an apartment, to pay for a car, to pay for all this stuff, and like at the end of the day, like, you get 2 days to yourself, you get like barely any time to pursue your passions and pursue your goals and things like that, and you're expected to be happy. And it's just like, even though I've had everything that I want materialistically, is that a word? The point is, like, it still hasn't really fulfilled me, which I know some people might be like, well, then you're insane. But like, the point is that it really is about the impact you leave on people and the ability to express yourself in an authentic manner. And a lot of times, people that are so focused on appearances, whether it's materialistic appearances or whether it's looks maxing or whatever it is, like, those are people that are really not fulfilled. And I won't say that, I've never been obsessed with appearance, or that I've never, invested so much time into it, because I really have. But it really just does come down to the way you treat others. And that really will help your depression too, is just, I don't even know where the hell I was going with that. I feel like I just get in such a yappy mood and I'm like, la, la, la. But the point is, like, it will help, like, finding that community, and also just being more aware of the stuff around you that you can be grateful for, and the stuff that you can enjoy and love about others and things like that. Like I will say, just having my mom here, and I mean, just a simple act of like cutting up some vegetables for like a green juice in the mornings, and the fact that I got to spend time with my brother and things like that. Like those are really the moments that you live for. And I think in a future episode, I'm going to tell you guys about this crazy plant medicine trip that I had, in which I had an awareness like that of basically like it's not really about these milestones that you always want to reach. It's more about the people. It's more about the community. It's more about like the love, whether it's that self-love, which really does help you break out of that depression, is being like, hey, like really speaking to yourself in such a gentle manner of like, hey, I know you've been through so much. I validate that. And also like, what can I do for you? Like, what can I do for you to help you? Like, and it, and the answer can simply be like, I want to go walking. Like, I'm tired of scrolling on TikTok. And let's not even get into the fact that that causes so much anxiety. And I'll get into that future episodes, but like generally talking to yourself and speaking with yourself and being like, hey, I know you're here right now, but what can I do to help you? And my way of helping myself was telling my mom how I felt. Like, honestly, like I'm definitely somebody that has gone through a lot of things alone. And I know not everybody has the opportunity to talk to their moms, or which I'm so freaking sorry about, because honestly, that would break my heart. But just like the ability to talk to someone and reach out for help. Like I also reached out to a therapist, and I'm looking to schedule a therapy appointment soon. And but just definitely admitting to yourself and telling yourself, you know what, I'm not doing okay right now, and like what can I do to improve? Like, does my body need more movement? Like, am I carrying anxiety deep in my soul? Like, is what I'm ingesting, like is what I'm eating on a day-to-day basis affecting my mood? Because it really can. It really, 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 really can. And I'm not even talking to you from like a, just like, oh, I saw on TikTok. Like, no, girl, like I studied psychology for 4 years. Like, there's certain things in our foods, in our environments and things like that that generally have such an effect on our dopamine, on our oxytocin, on things like that, which I might talk about in future episodes. But the point is like, definitely get in tune and in touch with yourself, and generally work on supporting yourself and your mind, your body, your soul, and really asking your soul,